View from the Outside, hosted by Brayton Horn. A View from the Outside takes a look at key issues affecting St. Vincent and the Grenadines and gives a global perspective on how these issues are viewed. Host Brayton Horn will examine a variety of topics to enlighten, stimulate debate, and explore solutions. Hear the facts, hear the real-life stories, hear A View from the Outside. Join Brayton Horn at 7:30am every Saturday on Nice Radio for A View from the Outside.
This society needs a spectacle. It might help us to see some evil. This society needs a spectacle.
Well, it's sometime in the afternoon in the United Kingdom. I guess sometime after 12. Britain, good afternoon to you.
Sometime after 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you, Randy. Good morning to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to hear you.
Yes, always good to hear you. And the music you're playing is my kind of music and my kind of lady. Well, our kind of lady, Judy Boucher. She's just vintage.
Yes, man.
I'm enjoying the music.
She's been doing great things for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, just getting off a tour in South Africa. And the friends have gotten together to decide, let's pay a tribute to the lady, and I think it's overdue. I was privileged to be the promoter for her first show here on St. Vincent and the Grenadines sometime in the 90s, 1997, when I was here setting up the programming for the First FM station. So I'm happy 30 years after that they're taking care of this lady.
Yes, and as you say, overdue, quite fitting though. It is quite fitting to have that tribute. Judy has represented us internationally. As you say, in South Africa, she is like big, huge, massive, large, well adored in South Africa.
Yeah,
And,
we don't, Britain, we don't understand this. I'd like you to say what you just said there again so the people here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines could understand. Because Kevin was here a couple of days ago and, listening to people talk about the local artists, they don't understand the kind of promotion they give to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the kind of stature they have worldwide.
Absolutely. I wish I could repeat them in the order that I said them. But I was saying that Judy is such a massive artist in South Africa. She is adored, loved, everything one could think about. When Judy goes to South Africa, it is thousands and thousands of people who flock to see her. And as you say, Randy, our people, and I talk about you and I say this sometimes, our people are not given the credit that they deserve, and which is due. And because Judy's in the limelight now, I think it's, as you said, it's only fitting that this is happening at this time. So I wish you guys well. And as Judy would say, if I could be in two places at the same time, I will be there with you. So yes, have a good evening for that. I just want to say good morning to all of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, those at home and abroad. If you're having a morning, if you're having an afternoon, good afternoon to you. I know that the temperature in London is 17 degrees Celsius, and that's about 63 degrees Fahrenheit. It's quite sunny, actually, so it's good weather. On A View from the Outside this week, Randy, we look at the issue of apartheid, A-P-A-R-T-H-E-I-D, apartheid, with the view being that there is an urgent need for the regime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to heed the cries of the indigenous black people and intervene to halt what appears to be an apartheid-style practice in the country, where foreign investors are allowed to deny the indigenous black people residing in the country their fundamental and legal right to access to the beaches in the country. Apartheid is defined in the Macmillan Dictionary as, and I quote, the political system that existed in the past in South Africa, in which only white people had political rights and power. And Macmillan goes on to give a further definition. I quote, a situation. So apartheid is a situation in which different groups in society live almost completely separate lives, often with one group enjoying the benefits that other groups cannot enjoy. The world knows, and I end the quote with Macmillan, and I say now that the world knows that apartheid was the ugliest form of government which existed in South Africa or anywhere else in the world for that matter. Under apartheid in South Africa, black people were denied their fundamental human rights. They, black people, were forced by law to live in separate areas from the whites. They were not allowed to go to the same restaurants. They were not allowed to use the same toilets. They couldn't even ride in the same section on a train. Many of you listening right now will remember or have read about what happened in 1983 to the great West Indian fast bowler Colin Croft when he was kicked off a train in South Africa when he tried to ride in the section of the train reserved for whites only. Under apartheid, many South African indigenous black people were beaten, imprisoned, and in many cases killed by the police if they dared to protest and stand up for their rights. Steve Biko was beaten and killed by the South African police. And the legend, Nelson Mandela, was imprisoned for 27 years before his eventual release. Those are just two of the standout names. However, millions of black South Africans, the indigenous black people of South Africa, suffered under the apartheid regime in their own country. Yes, apartheid in South Africa was ugly. It was harsh. It was brutal. It is a political system of government which must never, ever be contemplated or encouraged in any form, in any way, by any government, anywhere. And as Vincentians, we must not allow any form of apartheid to be given birth or practiced in any way in our own country. And it is in that vein that those on the outside have heard the call for support from the residents of Canouan and mainland St. Vincent. The residents in Canouan claim that the situation which has been allowed to brew there is apartheid. They tell the world that they have been denied access to the beaches by foreign investors. They tell the world, they tell the world that the regime appears to be heavily on the side of foreign investors. They tell the world that as a result of the seeming support from the regime, they believe that the foreign investors feel even more empowered to practice apartheid on our beaches. As a result of such empowerment, they are being harassed and even arrested with more regularity when they attempt to go to the beach. Surely, this is not a happy situation, and every effort must be made to resolve it. No one wants a situation in the country where different groups in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are enjoying the benefits of the beaches in the country, and the local indigenous black residents are denied such benefits. Surely, no one wants any semblance or resemblance of apartheid to take root in our blessed country. Surely, We, as Vincentians, as a Vincentian people, cannot sit idly by and allow those who hold the reins of power to sell or surrender the rights of the people for what many say is a few dollars more. No one wants the lyrics of the Calypsonian Scorcher to be put into practice around the country when he encouraged people in a similar situation to fork up the beaches. Surely, this is a case where the regime and those who hold the reins of power in St. Vincent and the Grenadines must become proactive and resolve these issues in a way that both parties are happy with, and that the rights of the people, the black indigenous people of the country, are maintained. Surely, no credible government, and any government worth its salt, none in the world would sit by and do nothing to resolve such issue. Such issue tarnishes the good name of the country. Such issue will impact on the entire future of the nation. Surely, too, Vincentians far and near need to lend support to the residents in Kanawha and those on the mainland too, so that the situation which the residents in Kanawha call their apartheid will be brought to an end. It is perhaps just fitting to end with the quote, from the words of Steve Biko. And Steve Biko said, I quote him, "Apartheid, both petty and grand, is obviously evil. Nothing can justify the arrogant assumption that a clique of foreigners has the right to deny or to decide on the lives of a majority." I'm going to read that again. This is what Steve Biko said, and Steve Biko was someone who was beaten and killed by the police in South Africa under the apartheid regime. He said, "Apartheid, both petty and grand, is obviously evil. Nothing can justify the arrogant assumption that a clique of foreigners has the right to decide on the lives of their majority." Vincentians, let us not sit by and allow this to happen in our country. Until next week, Randy, this is Britton Horn with a view from the outside, reminding our listeners to send feedback to aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. That's aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. Randy, have a good day. Have a good weekend, a very enjoyable weekend, and have a fruitful week ahead as we look forward to another view from the outside. All the best to you, Randy.
Britton, thank you. Thank you.